Welcome everybody, this is Nate from the Chance Cube. I go by Ketracel on the forums, and we're coming to you today recording some commentary for our latest YouTube video playing Star Wars Destiny. With me today is Matt. Matt, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi all, my name is Matt. I am from Kansas City and I go by the handle MJ, and I'm also a blog author for the Chance Cube.
So, without further ado, let's get into this game. Welcome back, everybody. This is Nate, along with Matt again, recording episode 2 for the Chance Cube, some Destiny gameplay commentary. So, how are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing wonderful, and yourself?
Doing great. So, again, we have myself on the left-hand side of the screen playing Darth Vader and Tusken Raider. And we have Chase again, trying out the eJango eVeers deck again. He was wanting to give it some more go, see if he could get it to work the way he wanted it to. And I actually let him pick which deck I was playing before this game, and he wanted a challenge. So he went with the big boys. And
And this one here, you actually did it in reverse. You should have drawn a mulligan first.
Yeah, we weren't really paying attention. We were kind of just playing, and we both had the same battlefield. So it was like whoever won the roll, I didn't care to go first, so I was picking his battlefield because I wanted the shields, and he was like, "Yeah, I was gonna pick your battlefield because I wanted the shields." So the joys of running the same battlefields.
Yeah, and see, for me, when I'm playing eJango, I almost want to be first, just so I can get that first action, get that first, upgrade card played on eJango, and that way, if you activate the first turn, eJango's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
Yep. So,
Jetpack.
Yep. It's similar to what he did in the last game, throwing stuff on eJango, and I'm laughing because I'm playing Holocrons.
Absolutely.
So Chase goes and activates eVeers, getting some damage and some resources, and I keep throwing stuff on Vader. And this is actually one of my favorite cards against the eJango deck is Hunker Down, because it costs 0, so it's a free action to play it, and then it gives me an extra action against eJango. So I'm trying to force Chase's hand here, and he is doing everything in his power to not let me do this. Because he throws more upgrades on eJango, which is just what I don't want to see. So it's actually funny here. I pass. He's like, okay. So he does a damage to my Tusken, and I'm like, I pass? Because I don't want to activate him.
And so he did the damage, he's got 2 upgrades out.
So he passes right back.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I did not think this through.
But that's the power of eJango right there.
Yep.
It's you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't.
Yeah, because it's like, you have 2 upgrades on eJango. I don't want you rolling 4 dice and then getting to spend them just instantly.
Mm-hmm. And it stalled you out completely. You didn't get to try and activate your Holocron. You didn't get any force power. You didn't do a single drop of damage.
I didn't roll a single dice that round. All I did was played some stuff. I think, remembering back, I don't think I had any blue upgrades in my hand at the time. I was hoping to discard a few cards to re-roll, potentially, to draw more and get into some. But that didn't happen.
Remember now, you can always discard at the end to draw back up too, so...
And more people...
So he's thinking, because he's like, wait a minute, I've got...
Yeah, more people kept coming up as we were playing, wanting to know what was going on, which was awesome. I think, through our games right here, we had 4 or 5 people come up and express interest. Sadly, the store is out of boosters and starters right now. So...
Oh, very few people have them, so...
The good thing is I have a box sitting back at my house waiting because we're having a demo day at our store, and I am giving away packs to people. So...
Oh, very nice.
So
okay, so he rolls, gets some damage, gets 2 shields.
He actually he makes a choice here to focus down the Tusken, which I think is a big mistake. The Tusken is only in there so that I can run the backup muscle and the hunker downs. He does nothing for the deck. He's just an 8-point filler.
But depending on the deck and how you load out your Vader Raider, the Tusken Raider can play a very significant role. You put in some unpredictables, you put in some scrambles in there.
You can, and a lot of the stuff, though, that you're running that come with the Tusken doesn't require the Tusken to be there. Like, it's not spotty yellow or yellow only. So, by killing the Tusken early, it gets rid of a character, sure, but it also means that I've soaked 8 damage away from Vader. So it basically is 8 shields on Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And I not force him. He decides to activate Django when I activate the Tusken, so I get to roll in Vader. And as we know, Vader likes to roll lots and lots and lots of damage.
Yep, so he's going to put in another backup muscle.
And I think what he's looking for here is, you got some shields loaded up on Vader. This is going to let me get around your shields. So I play Force Strike, which is an amazing, amazing villain blue card. So it lets me switch one of my dice to any side and deal damage, melee damage with it. So it's just a free 3 or a 1-cost 3 damage thing for Vader, which is huge.
And he goes, "Screw you! I don't want to see that again." In place, he doesn't like you.
So I use my Power of the Dark Side to roll my Holocron back in to get the special on the Holocron, which is nice. And he starts loading up damage with the backup muscle onto the Raider. I claim to get rid of his dice because, again, I have no blue abilities in hand, so I had no way to spend the Holocron special. I was really just hoping to get a blank in order to do damage with Power of the Dark Side.
Hey, well, 1 in 3 chance you happen to get the wrong 1 in 3.
So I think Chase is thinking, does he want to do anything? I think he had something he could do here. Yeah, I think he was deciding on if he wanted to discard a card. Which technically he did it at the end of the turn instead of during the draw step, but half dozen.
Yeah, it's his 4th game, so
like the timing of it really didn't matter because he was just discarding it. So, so we go to the next turn. I get to go first, and I get to throw out a backup muscle. So there's backup muscles everywhere. Like, this is the muscliest game.
So the cannon fodder, man. And then there you go. A holdout blaster.
So I activate my backup
ready
muscle
to go.
And throw a damage to Django. I'm trying my best to get rid of Django.
And see right there, the holdout blaster, does that not have ambush?
Does. And
see, yep, and you guys forgot to do it. No big deal there. So
I think later on we remember it and I give him an extra action. I don't remember. I know that we realized it at some point.
And there goes your Tusken Raider. So it took 2 turns to get him down.
And he still has 1 activation left on both of the backup muscles, so that's 2 damage to Vader. So, he's in a good spot. He's killed one of my characters. I've done 4 damage to Django, so.
And you've got a minimalistically loaded up.
Yeah, I have shield potential on Vader, which against Django is good. Shields are good all the time.
Ooh, jetpack special. There you go.
Yeah, but I rolled some decent damage on Vader. I think it's his 3 damage side.
3, yep. And then 2 resources.
So he doesn't like you to get rid of my damage.
And see, I would have gone with the jetpack to pull it off and give him a shield.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if he read it.
See?
So I isolation to get rid of one of his Django dice, which had some damage on it. And again, I think more people coming to see what we're playing, which is a good thing to
Oh,
have
come on.
unless you're recording a game.
Well, and even if you are, a good friendly game, and nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that in any way, shape, or form. Gets people interested in a great game.
So I re-roll here with Power of the Dark Side and get another resource.
Get more
Which,
resources.
For this deck, resources, especially early, are really, really good. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, I need to be able to play some of these things in my hand. And he rolls in some more damage with eVeers. Fortunately, the damage on Django is melee. The damage on eVeers is range, so they don't work together. And I'm like, whew, I'm avoiding a little bit of damage this turn.
Yep.
So Chase goes with getting some more resources. And I claim to avoid some more damage on my end, thinking, okay, if you want to deal damage, you're going to have to re-roll here.
Always a good thought. So he discards. He's going to say, screw it. Which, against Vader, you have to.
You can't sit back and play the long game with Vader, because the more Vader can just sit there and build up, the worse he gets.
And again, you get the special in a blank. So does he do it?
He does not.
He decides to keep his card.
He probably had something that was better than the damage he could get on either of those, so might as well hold it, come out swinging next turn, because unless I can do some stuff, he's going to get Django going again, which is really depressing. Like, sitting across the table from a Django is just not fun.
Well, neither is sitting across from a Vader either. But...
Yeah, I guess neither of us should be sitting at this table because neither of us are fun. So I use my backup muscle. Chase readies his backup muscles.
Yep. Muscles for days. Gets dug in.
Realizes, oh wait, I have to control the battlefield.
Don't control the battlefield, yep.
So he's like, well, I wanted that. I wanted my shields. And I mock him for this. I'm like, no shields for you. Because what's better than mocking someone in a friendly game?
Well, as long as you can pull it off the win.
Yeah.
All right, so if he pays 3.
He was skeptical, I think, about putting more upgrades on eVeers just because of the low health on eVeers, and without eVeers having shields right now, a good roll on Vader, and I can just get rid of eVeers. Like, it doesn't hurt me to switch tactics and just be done with him.
No.
So I throw a force throw onto Vader. The special on force throw is fantastic, especially against Veer's Django, because he's gonna be rolling damage sides, and force throw potentially lets me get rid of them.
Yep. And now here, this is almost one of the times when I would almost consider activating Django first, just so even if you do roll and get the special and force throw, he can resolve dice first.
I think we're both kind of playing the let's not activate anybody game, but eventually I have to activate Vader, and I know that if I pass right here, he'll pass. Which puts him in a better position than me. So I activate my Vader. He activates his Django, and
2 specials, a disrupt, and melee damage, and look at that damage coming back.
It's gonna hurt. And so he's just getting his dice sorted out right here, trying to figure out how much damage he wants to do, because I think he had the shields left on Vader, and he just comes in for a bunch. But The shield saved me from really taking a big hit. And then I use Hunker Down because he's going to try and deal more damage, and activating my stuff right now doesn't do me as much good as preventing damage to my Vader, in my opinion. So, plus, I wanted to use my specials, but he really didn't have a good dice to get rid of right now. He had a 1 melee, and I'm thinking, okay, you activate Veers, you're going to get something better than that. So, yeah. So,
hopefully, yeah.
Come out swinging, get some good stuff, which he does. He gets the +2 and some other specials on the hunt and the blaster. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I think, depending on what's in my hand, using the specials right now is probably the best option if I can get a upgrade out with the holocron. And I'm pretty sure that's what I do. And I use the holocron first, so that I can play in another card, spend the resource, and roll its dice into the pool, which is huge. Yep.
And a Mind Probe, good card.
The special on the Mind Probe.
Oh, the special.
So it's just, it's going to be a lot of damage coming. And at first I was thinking, okay, I need to try and kill Veers here. But then I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm like, wait a second. I think I can kill Django. I think I have enough, with the melee damage that I have shown, to kill Django. Oh, apparently I had enough to kill Django right then and there. I forgot that. It's hard to see the damage on it. He had his dice stacked up there, but.
Yeah, especially with.
Yeah.
Mind Probe.
Like, how do you do that much damage? I'm like, Mind Probe's really good. So, just wiping a Django really is awesome. So he comes back, hits me for some extra damage here with the special. Gets rid of.
Yep. So he plays on. No, it says he was on the hunt, so it removes the shields, and he doesn't have the resources to remove one of your dice. Unfortunately.
So he does the damage from the blaster here.
And 2 unblockable, which is very nice.
And then I'm building up for my next turn, so I'm getting rid of the Hunker Down, putting the holocron back on. I'm looking at Veers with some upgrades, but I'm not too worried about it. He gets rid of that. He again forgets to use his backup muscles, but I think he wanted to avoid the damage right then. So it would have gotten me a little closer to being dead.
Which I understand that one.
Discard another card, reroll another dice, and get some damage sides. So in this turn, I've killed Django and done 5 damage to Veers. So that was an amazingly good turn, and it just shows the raw power that Vader can pump out damage-wise. Like, Django Veers is great and can do the same thing, but if you're not careful and you're not expecting it, Vader can really do a lot.
And now I can see now why he kind of chose to kill the Tusken Raider, because right now he's only done 12 damage. If he would have gone after Vader,
they would.
Both characters would still be alive.
Would, and there's an argument for either way. Usually, I'll just go for Vader if I'm playing against him, just because if I can get him out, it weakens their board state enough, and they're usually putting their stuff on Vader as opposed to holocroning stuff onto the Tusken. So it's a toss-up. Either way, he's done a lot of damage, and now he's starts rolling even more damage. So yeah, because
and you
I could
respond by
activate
activating your
the backup
Vader
to throw a damage at him, but doesn't really do me anything. I'm gonna take the 4
Mm-hmm.
damage from eVeers anyways. So,
And so with your force throw special up there,
yep.
he better do that 4 damage from Veers right now.
Yeah, if he doesn't do the damage with eVeers right now, one of them's getting thrown back at him. So it's pretty much the only good choice that he has. And he was asking what that special was just to make sure. And so I was like, it lets me take this, throwing your dice back at you, and it's bad. Also, you'll notice that every time I activated Vader this turn, I completely forgot to use his ability. I think I reminded him.
No, he was discarded.
But I think like the first time
he was...
and this time, I just was like, why am I not doing this? So I decided to use Power of the Dark Side here to reroll the Holocron to do 2 damage this time.
2 more damage.
I didn't really want to use the Force Throw to throw a resource back at him. I knew that he was going to have to do something in order to get damage. I also had a Resource Disrupt, which probably would have been a better choice at the time. If I strip him of his resources, he doesn't get to play the Dug-In, he doesn't get to do a lot of stuff without taking more actions.
Yeah, and he's still right now got the resource for his On the Hunt special, so he can do that next turn
and I Force Strike
pull off
again
Vader's
to
double
get
damage.
rid of his shields. Yep. And he pays
so at this point, yep,
in order
on
to
the
get
hunt.
rid of the Vader dice. So I'm like, well, there goes that plan. Should have disrupted.
Absolutely.
But he's still sitting at, I think, 7 damage. So I Force Throw
7.
my own Disrupt back at him in order to kill him. So either way, I still had the backup muscle left, rerolls. Vader is a truck, and at 13 health, he's hard to take down.
Absolutely. And even the not activating the 2 backup muscles for the 2 damage really wouldn't have done a whole lot.
Good early and was able to take out stuff. I still feel like the backup, or not the backup, taking out the Tusken early, it's good because it takes out one of my activations, but it also isn't an important activation. I feel like doing the damage to Vader does more in the long run, but it's kind of a...
And I'll agree with that.
We actually had played another game after this where he was using a Qui-Gon shield deck, and after talking about not focusing down the Raider, he goes all out on Vader and takes Vader out in 2.5 turns or something silly. With Qui-Gon and Riposte, and just he did so much damage so quickly because of the shield stuff. And then I'm sitting there with a Raider that I'm throwing holocrons on, trying to get stuff onto it. It ends up, it was an amazing game. It comes down to the very end, but he had the red hero card, Resistance HQ. And the problem was I was having to spend my resources in order to, do stuff. And so he's sitting there with a full hand every turn, activating it. I've already spent my resources, discards a card, readies it. Activates it, discards a card, readies it. And he had shields on his guys for days, and I just couldn't mow through it. And hopefully we'll have a game against that deck recorded eventually, because it's a fun deck to watch, especially if you don't know what you're doing against, as I apparently didn't. But that's it for episode 2, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary. Thank you again, Matt, for joining me. And as always, be sure to visit
Thank you for having me on.
for articles, and hopefully you'll join us next time for episode 3, which should be coming in the next couple of weeks. Thank you guys, and goodbye.